After New York Fashion Week and before Paris, there's Milan. So who and what stood out on the couture-filled Italian catwalks? Joining us now with highlights from Milan Fashion Week is WSJ contributor Christina Binkley. Hi, Christina. Great to see you.
Great to see you, Tanya.
So, Christina, after the New York and Milan shows, do you see a theme emerging?
Yeah, I think this may be Donald Trump's greatest contribution to fashion. We really did see a theme throughout New York and into Milan of people being motivated, not so much by Donald Trump, but by ideas of diversity, inclusivity, making political statements on the runways. I don't really think I've ever attended a political rally. I know I've never before attended a political rally on a runway, but I did this week in Milan.
The hot pink hats at Missoni, correct? And Dolce & Gabbana had 100 real people in their shows rather than models, for which I understand, Christina, you turned down an invitation from Stefano Gabbana himself. Yeah,
Stefano, literally 30 minutes before the show was supposed to start, invited me to walk the runway. I would rather set my hair on fire. So
we would have loved to see that, Christina. That would have been so much fun. But really, there's such creativity you talk about in the Milan shows. Is it true that the Milan shows were once considered not as fun or as competitive as the others?
It's hard to believe that, but that wasn't even that long ago. Like 2 years ago, people sort of dragged their feet into Milan. People complained that the shows were too sort of plain and vanilla, that the clothes were too wearable, not exciting enough for editorials and magazines and whatnot. That has completely changed. I don't know whether they got the message or drank different Kool-Aid. The stores are even talking about what strong collections are coming out of the Italian designers these days.
Amazing. Okay, now let's talk standouts. You say Gucci continues to be hotter than hot.
Blowing up all over the place. Yes, this was a huge show. It was 119 looks. There's supposed to be 120, but they dropped one at the last minute because the model got sick. You know, that's a lot of clothes. That's about twice the size of the typical runway, and it really shows, you know, what's going on at the sort of the confidence coming out of that design house right now. But their accessories, their clothing, their shoes are flying out the doors at stores.
Beautiful, beautiful clothes I can see from here. Now, did Marni also debut its new designer in Milan?
Yeah, and that could have been tricky. I'll tell you, Tanya, I really wondered about this one. Marni has been a cult favorite of fashion editors for years. I mean, there were times when I thought there'd be an entire show full of everybody wearing nothing but Marni clothing. And the founding designer left last season. This was the first season for Francesco Riso, who came from Prada's design team. Well, I met him backstage afterwards, and he said that he's been a customer of Marni for years and loves the brand personally. And you could see it. His collection was lovely and really felt Marni. So I think the editors who love it will feel fine.
That's great. So he's not changing the direction too radically there. Now, yeah. Christina, you say a Paris defector seems to have lost nothing by moving to Milan. Is that right?
It maybe even have gained something. V&A moved, and I don't think I've seen many brands moving from Paris to Milan. Paris is sort of the biggest and seen as the most important fashion week, so it's an unusual move. But what it does, of course, is allow greater visibility for V&A, and I think in this case it worked. They showed in a beautiful old palazzo. I was seated in a library on a chair as the models went by. The collection looked beautiful, wearable, very high end, and the people, a lot of them were clients sitting around me, were oohing and awing. So I think that was a good omen.
I love that. Now, Prada's collection also, you say, was a highlight.
Standing ovation for that. And there have been a couple of weak seasons. Prada's been struggling in retail, putting a lot of effort into their accessories and handbags because that's where the money's at. I think it really showed on the runway this time. It was a terrific collection. The clothes were lovely. The very busy maximalist accessories looked really fun. I think they're going to give Gucci a run for the money.
Absolutely. And then what about MOSCHINO'S show? Did it work for you, or was it too trashy? No pun intended.
I think both. It worked for me, and it was way too trashy, right? Literally, there was a dress made of trash, faux trash, but the idea was trash. I have to say I laughed. I gut laugh when I saw there was a sort of a shawl that went by that was literally made of stuffed animal rats. It was a rat shawl. The concept of this show, what if a girl didn't have any clothes and she just looked around her and made her fashion out of what was surrounding her? And what we got was hilarious and really fun, maybe not wearable, but they'll translate it for the stores.
It certainly sounds like wearable art in any case. Well, Christina, thank you so much for that. Lovely to see you.
It was a pleasure.